In this episode, we measure some stuff, remove the front struts, check out some cool Land Cruisers, meet Kurt from Expedition Overland and Cruiser Outfitters, and pick up our new suspension for Kino the Tundra. Today is the day we lift Kino. When we lifted the van, that took like 2 weeks. That was a ton of work. It involved a lot of cutting and welding and rebuilding axles and all that stuff. This is a purely bolt-on application, which is awesome. I love this lift because it can be installed in a day. The goal is to be done before 2 a.m. tonight. All right, the first thing you should do when modifying your vehicle is wash it to get all the dirt and dust to prevent it from falling on your face when you're in there. So I just got back from the car wash. Super excited to try this out. Let's take some measurements so we can see before and after. This lift is reported to raise it 2.5 inches front and rear. I think it's going to be closer to 3.5. I would rather it was closer to 2.5, but let's see. And since we have the deck system and the shell and all my tools in the back at all times, the rear end is squatting a little bit, which is one of the main reasons we went with this lift as well, so we could get it back to the normal factory rake so when we're towing it's not dragging on the bump stops. So this measurement's going to be a little bit off because it's not exactly unloaded in the back. Alright, with the empty Kuat rack on and the shell and the deck and most of my tools inside, we are at 37.75 inches tall. And if we measure from the center of the hub, 22.75. That way we can measure how much bigger tires lifted it versus the suspension. Okay, here we go. 36.75. 22 exactly to the center. So this is the newest vehicle I've ever worked on. It's 4 months old with 11,000 miles on it, and every bolt is so clean. There's no rust on it, so it's going to be so great taking these off. I'm not going to have to soak them in PB Blaster overnight. That being said, it's a little bit nerve-wracking taking apart such a new truck that's still under warranty. But we bought this truck to use it, not to just sit as stock as possible. So here we go. So stock, we have 1.5 inches of clearance between the upper control arm and the tire. We've got, 3.5, 4 inches. And we've got maybe 3 inches there as well. So we'll be replacing this with the light racing upper control arm and replacing this strut with the Old Man Emu one. The Old Man Emu kit uses the upper plate from this strut. So you can either buy another pair of upper plates and keep this intact, which a lot of people do, but the place I'm going doesn't have those in stock. So I'm going to pull these off, pull them into the shop, and have them swap them out for me. We're really lucky here in Utah to have amazing 4x4 shops, and Cruiser Outfitters has my lift in stock. So before I go pick it up, I'm going to go take my old strut. I'm going to pull these out, take them to them so we can swap the top caps on them. That'll make more sense in a little bit. Right now I'm marking where the alignment bolts are. Yeah, that one. We're going to get a full alignment when this is done, but this is just to get it back close. It's pretty different than the Tacomas. It goes all the way through the A-arm. That's cool. I forgot to remove the sway bar. This will help it droop a little bit more. Alright, sway bar is disconnected. think I'm going to loosen these so that this will swing. It's binding in the bushing in there right now. Wow, those are tight. Whew. With those loose, the lower A-arm should be able to swing free now. Come on. Swing free. There we go. Alright, now this is out. Now I just have 3 more bolts holding that strut in. I never knew the trick before to loosen those and this, and I would always have the hardest time prying these back in. That makes all the difference in the world, loosening those. So now my alignment's off, but it's going to be off anyway, and I've got an alignment scheduled tomorrow. This part's easy. Got some 14mm nuts up here. And everything's so clean I can just do that with my fingers. Getting the last nut off here. And the strut is free. Don't gouge that up when you're in here. Alright, got the strut out. Now what a lot of people don't realize is you can bolt your big tire on here now and cycle it completely throughout the suspension with no spring on it to see where it rubs. A lot of people will say, oh, I've got 35-inch tires on my truck and it doesn't rub anywhere. And then you go off-roading and your tire's no longer down here and it's up here trying to turn, and it rubs in different parts of the travel. So you have to be careful when people say I get no rub on such and such truck. Since we're going to be taking this off-road, I need it to be able to cycle through all its travel all over without rubbing. Alright, we got one strut out. Let's get the other one out and go pick up our lift kit. Beautiful. Let's go take these down to Cruiser Outfitters. Get that top plate swapped. Now we're headed over to one of my favorite shops, Cruiser Outfitters, owned by my buddy Kurt Williams, and the employees there are awesome. A lot of my friends work there. I gotta give a shout out to my brother Mike for letting me use his car to run these struts over.
Use the right lane to take exit 292.
The best part about coming to Cruiser Outfitters are seeing all of Kurt's Land Cruisers. Right-hand drive diesel, another right-hand drive diesel. So cool. Hey, I'm here with Kurt. He's the owner of Cruiser Outfitters. So good to see you again,
Fun
Kurt.
to have you around, Steve.
We've been camping so many times.
Yep, a lot of fun adventures over the years.
Tell us about the shop.
So this is Cruiser Outfitters. It's our little world of hurt, as we call it. We get a lot done. But our big, we really specialize in Toyotas, primarily Land Cruisers, but we do a lot of Tacomas, Tundras, and 4Runners. Steve's in here today. We're tinkering on his Tundra and getting it all decked out to hold a lot of load. This guy carries a lot of gear around, tows a trailer, so he needs a little bit of added load capacity. And the Old Man Emu stuff is just, it's a great set it and forget it kit. You set it up properly the first time. It's not an adjustable high performance suspension. We have that as well. Old Man Emu, Icon, you know, there's a lot of brands out there that are great kits that do that. This is more of a set it and forget it, entry level, but a great performing kit. You've ran a lot of Old Man Emu stuff over the years?
Yeah, I've had on a 97 Tacoma, an 04 Tacoma, and an 06 4Runner. I love this stuff. I mean, we took it through the Rubicon. But I love that you don't have to rebuild them. Yeah. Especially when you get salt and grime on here.
The standard Old Man Emu Nitro Charger Sports Series, like the one you're picking up here today, they're kind of set it and forget it. They're going to get a 10 years out of a shock. I mean, if you really push them hard, maybe a little less, but you don't have to worry about it till then. And they're really good in the salt, corrosion, weather, mud. You don't have to keep them as clean. And so they're just a really good setup. So, yeah.
Cool. It's so great to be here.
Yeah.
You guys recognize Kurt from Expedition Overland and the amazing YouTube series they do. We'll put a link to it up in the top right there.
We'd love to have you watch.
Check it out.
Put some eyeballs on. It's a lot of fun.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Which continent have you not wheeled in yet?
I am yet to do Antarctica, so that's high on my list. It's the hardest one to get to, too, so I don't know if I'll ever get there, but it's on my bucket list.
Right on. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Kurt.
yeah, thanks for coming by.
Can't wait to install it.
All right, go get to it.
So what we need to do is keep this plate. So we're going to pull this nut off very carefully in the right device and transfer it over to these ones once we put the right coils on. This is the best way to do it that I've seen. It's scary every time though because it's spring loaded, and when you release it, if it slipped, it could shoot 100 feet high or hit you in the head. Really dangerous thing. So I recommend getting it done from the shop you buy it from anyway. For the Old Man Emu struts, they're all the same inner shock part, and then you just get the coil based on your load rating. So the 612 coil is for lightest duty applications with the 4.7, 4.6 liter motor. Then you go to the 614s, that's what I'm going with. That's a 5.7 liter motor without a bumper, without a winch. Old Man Emu stuff runs a little bit stiffer than stock anyway. So I really, like a lot of guys say, oh, I'd like a winch bumper one day. I'll just get the heavy springs. Then they wait 2 years before their winch bumper, and it's a really rough ride. So I'm going with the 614s because I'm not going to put a winch or a bumper on it. And even then, it still might be a little bit stiffer than I like until it breaks in. So here's the plate you need to take off of your old struts and put onto the new Old Man Emu ones. You can buy this from Toyota and buy a new one, but they're like $100, so I figured I'd just swap them. Alright, we got the factory plate here. This is our 614 coil. You can see right there. We're going to smash this whole thing down until the threaded end of it pops out the bottom, zip a nut on it, and suck it all back together. Then we don't have to worry about anything sketchy. All right, we got a lot of goodies here. Let's get them loaded up. Bushings for the leaf springs, shackles, and stickers.
All right, we're all set.
Thanks so much,
Appreciate
man.
it, Steve. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.